All right, this will be part 6 of Waking Up from the Matrix by the Vegan Skeptic. The repeating time loops are everywhere too. It's one of my channels. Since I started posting this stuff, pursuing God and the Waking Up to the Matrix, I'm losing subscribers. Awesome. That's good. The reason I say that is because I'd rather have people who are interested in the truth than just people who are just want to be entertained. Go find someone else to entertain you. I'm not very entertaining or very likable, it seems that way. Anyways, and the show Dark on Netflix, which is about time travel and repeating loops and incarnations. The number 33 is all over the show. For example, people go 33 years back into the future and 33 years forward into the future, getting stuck in a 33-year repeating loop. It is interesting that a similar solar cycle thing, a thing they mentioned in the show, to happen every 33 years, the lunar moon cycle. When the sun and the moon are aligned, repeating every 33 years. There you go. There it goes. The sun and the moon are aligned every 33 years. So that's probably the more important thing in all of this when it comes to 33 years. Is it interesting that a similar solar cycle thing they mentioned in the show to happen every 33 years also applies to our universe, which also shows the importance of the scripted number 33 for our universe simulation. Check out this weird 33-year repeating loop example from our world, which shows the strangeness behind the repeating loop phenomena everywhere I look. I've started to see how things are getting reset and repeated over and over again, like the Groundhog Day, and how we too are in a massive loop that just keeps repeating itself in different ways. We already know this from the samsara reincarnation loops that we seem to be currently stuck on, but this extends into other things as well. I've been listening to this. I hope I contact. He said he'll talk to anybody. He did say this. Christopher Siderus, or as if I pronounce his name, Siderus, said he'll talk to anybody who's interested in the truth. So I reached out to him, and probably that one person he won't talk to would be me, but that's the way it goes. And you know, I'm listening to this guy, and listening to everybody else, and everybody says about astral projecting and astral travel and outer body experiences, and the answer is there, but I don't see it. I just think it's where I'm at this point. This is like the place that we die, and it's the end. Or we're in a soul trap matrix, and it's a loop that we just keep being recycled here over and over again. But I don't see anybody offering up solid answers for if it is that, how to stop it, how to overcome it. It doesn't seem to be people have any clues about how to solve any of the problems here. As if this whole place is designed to be nothing but a big giant problem for you and I. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I'll be the first to admit I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. And I know not the brightest guy out there. Um, for, but still, I don't see those who are much brighter than me having really the answers. They're just better at communicating or thoughts. The word salad. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what the answers are? I used to think that it wasn't Christianity, and then I woke up to that, so I don't know where to go. Except everyone says it goes inwardly, so I try that too, and then it's like, well, the meat suit he keeps on getting in the damn way. Well, you need to be able to control it. Well, try it with MS. Good luck. There are just so many similarities between the C19 and the Spanish flu as can be seen from this video. But I'll now present you the most insane example, which is the countless similarities between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. That is wonderfully presented in this must-watch video by Mark Forever Researcher. Yeah, well, the Jesuits, the black magicians called the Jesuits, were involved in both of those. Along with, of course, then it's all Rome. It's all that's all it was. It's all the Vatican and all its tentacles. You say, no, that can't be. Well, it is. I hate to disappoint you. It is 100%. See, people think that the Vatican is just a religious institution. That's the most powerful monarchy in the world. You must understand what that means. Pontifex Maximus, Caesar, is in the form of the Pope. That's why it's pushed on us constantly. It's not just because there's 25% of the United States, or the Americans, are Roman Catholic. By the way, which is changing drastically with all the immigrants coming in. And to really understand what's going on and what the plan is, you have to read the book, as stale as it is, Lord of the Worlds by Monsignor Benson. It was written over 100 years ago. The game plan. If you read that, you go, oh, that's what their whole. See, their whole hope in defending themselves against the East is us, in the Americas. You don't understand. The whole plan is that we are here to fight their wars. That's the reason why. That's how they see it, right? Now you can say it's about land grabs and it's about power. Sure, it's all about power, land grabs, and mineral rights and all that other jazz, and in control of you. But the ultimate reason why they're obsessed about this place is control, and they believe that they have a divine right to rule this place. Now, maybe there's an entity or entities that are behind it all. It certainly seems that way. I know one thing. We're a lot more screwed up than we like to admit. So we all are. We always see the other person as they got the problem, but we are in a way, because it's not even our fault really. It's just how shittily crappily we've been designed. We're designed to be slaves. We're not designed to be part of this place. And our job is to spread over this place like a virus. Destroy this place and ourselves. That's what we are. These examples show how perfectly scripted our reality is, as the amount of similarities between Lincoln and Kennedy is so much so that one does the statistics on it, and they'll see that we are basically talking about a statistical impossibility for there to be that many similarities. I also like to share Mark's video and description below. He's been his case, well, and I'd highly recommend checking out his videos. Well, the problem is all this is that I like Mark, but Mark can't be the only person who has this all figured out, and he isn't. He's got some interesting perspectives, but he isn't the person who has it all figured out. Now, this is not a knock on him, because none of us have it all figured out. And I see myself falling into another kind of little limited hangout. But it's not a knock on anybody. We're all in this situation, so we're all hoping, and I think we're all making up shit. That's what we're doing. It's still part of the It's still part of the problem. This matrix, right? None of us really know what the hell we're talking about. We just think we do. Because we're not the ones. I doubt if even Pontifex Maximus, the Pope, knows what the hell's going on. I'm getting the impression that it's just like we're all just here to play really stupid roles, mindless roles. We just go through the motions and just do our thing, and hopefully find somebody we can hump, and that's about that. Maybe make some babies and find meaning. All right. Today we are going to take a look at the undeniable proof, which will show once and for all that we consider to be reality is really just some sort of highly sophisticated simulated matrix. There are easily 50 to 100 slam dunk synchronistic data points between JFK and Abraham Lincoln that defy the odds of any rational thinking person, but some have broken down over 200, and they are there for us to see. Just depends how far you want to go down. You say, okay, I get it. Not only will this show proof that we live in a simulated reality matrix, it will also show hard proof of reincarnation in some form. I will also provide some opinion on reincarnation aspect to all of this, because when we are dealing with something of this magnitude, one must start to think outside the box. There are other strong possibilities that could potentially make this thing even bigger than it really is, and they must be considered. Otherwise, we are just looking at the base level, and although the base level is mind-numbing and paradigm-shifting by its own merits, one cannot help but think something else is going on here. When presenting my opinion, and that's the important thing, my opinion, I will tell you, but the majority of what you will see here today are the facts. When it comes to another good example of repeating loop presented in a TV show, I'd recommend checking out this video about the best analysis of the TV show Lost. The show Lost is also all about the main character being stuck in a resetting loop, living in two different dream-like timelines. The YouTuber Logan from the Decode Your Reality channel also presents many evidence of the scripted nature of our reality via the videos he makes using Gematria. So maybe I should look up these things. Let's just look up, let's see what's going on here. Decode. I doubt that. I lost a lot of respect for everybody over the past 2020 and 2021 when I stood up for everybody and everyone in the truther movement. I mean, not everyone, but everyone, a small percentage of us, did so, and was willing to fall on our shoulders and lose their channels and be censored like you can't believe. Let's try this again. For some reason that didn't do it. Decode. Come on, what the hell's going on? No. I swear to God, that doesn't exist. But it's just nothing but the same old horror shit for me. He's got no website, does he? I also found that other channel that he was talking about, Net and Void. Sounds like he's a woman or some sort. I haven't looked into it yet. Still got enough time to do everything. Yeah, presented by many of the evidence of scripted nature in our reality via the videos he makes using Gematria. Logan recently interviewed Ola Wolny, I remember her, yes, who also did a great job explaining the scripted nature of our reality by using astrology. I don't think she really proved any of that. It just sounds like she learned a lot about what we learned, but she didn't prove what she presented. I know about her. Everything I watched was, I was thinking about having her on, but my small, humble, censored YouTube channel. How dare you? I always find it amazing. I put so much content out, and I get like shit all traffic. Of course, I know why. It's because I used to have thousands of subs too, by the way. And then I decided to stand up against the Matrix. This is not standing up against the Matrix, by the way. This is not. I mean, I stood up against the global eugenics program, and I'm paying the price ever since. And the one thing I discovered is I was standing alone. Now, I know there's other people out there in the internet world that were doing it, but we're in my part of the world, I was standing alone. I couldn't find anybody to join me. I was out there in the middle of my town with signs warning people. I was out there trying to get everyone to take the magnetic test. I did every single day. I put something out about what's going on videos, and I was constantly researching it and putting out videos. And it's a good thing I had a BitChute channel, because it ended up the only thing I could put anything up was on BitChute. I still am censored. And it's just like, it's just nothing but nasty people show up. Anyways, not everyone's nasty. I mean, some of my guests, of course my guests are not nasty. But, and a lot of you who listen to this regularly are not nasty, but there's a lot of nasty people that show up. So, geez. All in defending their blindly, lying for their truth. Anyways. So Ola, you know what? Nah, I'm not too impressed with her. A lot of this is what I'm hearing so far is a lot of internet research. Now, I'm not knocking the vegan skeptic at all for doing that, because I do it myself. But I also know there needs to be a presence in the reality that you're in. You know what I mean? That's like spending time in the woods, smelling the air, the best that you can. I mean, even in my limitations, I still try to do it one way or the other. And this winter, I haven't gone out that much. I got a lot of. Actually, I haven't gone out at all. Now that I think about it, I think that's what I want to do today. When I get down to some of this reading, I'm so ahead of the game. I mean, I have so many videos held in private that I could easily post a video every day for the next 3-4 weeks without even making a new one. Anyways, it's important to note, though, I have plenty of other things I disagree with both of them when it comes to their conclusions about life, which should be evident by the things I talk about throughout the book. who agrees with everybody? Yeah, anybody. If, if you're a total agreement with a person, you have something's wrong with you, right? I mean, there's not so far. There's things about the vegan skeptic that I don't agree with. Does that mean anything at the end of the day? Not really. We're all shooting in the dark here. There's things I disagree with Mark about. He's not God. He's just another dude. He's just another dude with a YouTube channel. Who figured out something and put it out there and it's sticking. You know what I mean? Good for him. I'm happy for him. And Dan, you know what I mean? Wayne, I mean, they're not God. They're just men like us. They just have an idea. We have a problem. We all have a problem. You know what that is? We're followers. We're designed to follow. And it takes a lot of strength and effort to be your own leader, if that's even possible. To try to break free from the chains of following. You might say, well, Mike, aren't you doing this for reading this book? No, no. Maybe so. Maybe in a day. Maybe I'm wasting my time. But at the same token, I haven't read this book all before. I've listened to the first 100 pages, but I haven't, read the whole thing. And, I find this whole area of speculation, assumptions, and opinions about what this place looks like to be very intriguing, possibly plausible. It's certainly better than anything else I've heard out there of late. And of course, no one's going to agree about it. Everyone's going to get pissed off, and people are going to unsubscribe. People are going to get pissed off about you pointing out the dangers, the lies, the hypocrisy that is called Christianity. I know it's hard to accept. Believe me, it is hard to accept. I know, because the reason why I joined it in the first place, I followed Jesus, you know what I mean? I didn't really join a church, although I got baptized twice in the past decade. The first one was by a janitor of evangelical church. I was going to join his church. I was not. I just wanted to be baptized and show my obedience to, Jesus and the Heavenly Father and all that. And the reason is because I discovered all the evils of this world. I started, not all of them, I started learning about all these, how evil this place was. And there's got to be an answer. And not to mention all the evil I experienced once I was taken out of the game through MS. Here I was, 2009, on top of my game. And just like that, when I started to truly find myself, boom, I was taken out. And it's been that way my whole life. I've never been allowed to launch. You know what I mean? I've never been allowed to blossom. It's like, nope, you can't have this. You're not allowed. You're just supposed to be, this is your time just to be in isolation and misery and pain. And like I did something terrible on the other side. Which, of course, once again, with the memory swipe thing, no one knows. I don't know what I did on the other side. Everyone says you chose to come here. Okay, I'm consistent on doing it, but there's no evidence that anybody chose anything. Well, all the other people in the reincarnation stories and then out-of-body experiences and all that. So, yeah, I mean, I keep telling you guys that I'm filming spirits in the trees, and none of you will fucking, well, not none of you, but the vast majority of you won't fucking even hear what I have to say about it. There's like 1 out of 1,000,000 that will even think about what I just said. And maybe the trees are that symbolic link between the reincarnation soul trap matrix loop. You know what I mean? And just recycling of us and our energies. And will we exist? I doubt it. I think it's just like everything else. I think once we die, and the energy that is us gets absorbed into whatever the universe is, whatever this energy is, and we don't seem to build upon things. And maybe it actually is a good thing too, not to remember all the previous lives, because so far everyone's have the horseshit fictitious existence. Do we need this? But at the same token, it's still being reinforced. I mean, geez, we're still talking about the Greek gods. We're still talking about Jesus. 2024, and it's like when's the next egregore to show up? Who's going to be the next one? Is it going to be George Washington? How about maybe it will be the next god in the future will be Donald Trump or Joe Biden, God forbid, right? I mean, I'm not talking about both of them because they're both insiders. So you just see people. So why anybody would, there's nothing you can do about the CEO of the corporation of the District of Columbia. It's already been chosen. So it's all this mindfuckery. So why anyone's paying attention to what Biden is saying and what Trump is saying is beyond me. I mean, it's so obviously scripted. It is political theater. Right? The problem is that our whole existence is scripted. Who's doing it and why it's doing it and how it's being done, it's the how we can get some answers. Who we have, there's no answer still. Why, we still don't really have an answer to that. The closest thing we have to is this loop production thing. This is seriously, I find this to be very disturbing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find it it's very disturbing that we don't have the answers to this shit. Now, I keep bitching about the same thing over and over again like a broken record, but the truth of the matter is, it is disturbing. If you think about it, you know what? At least we should be given the opportunities to really know. We shouldn't have to have some priest, prophet, professor, some guru, some wise guy show up and say, this is the meaning of our life, where we came from and where we're going. That should be innately in each and every one of us before we even have the chance to make a decision about anything. Because we don't even have that, the delusion of free will is shockingly real. I mean, when you really put it down, did I have a really free will to be in the circumstances I fucking am in? No. No, I didn't. Honestly, with all the things thrown at me, I'm lucky to even, I'm like a lot of you. I never expected to live past my mid-20s. And I wasn't even living like a reckless life, you know what I mean? Hey, my, it's better to burn out than to fade away. You know what I mean? I didn't live that life. Partied once in a while. I mean, I wasn't like, I was not the guy that said, hey, it's weekend, let's get Mike and let's party. I had so many issues in my life and no one to give a shit about. So I had to, first 20 years of living was survival mode. Then it took another 20 years to figure out what the hell happened in the first 20 years. Now I'm at the latter stage of my third 20 years, and only thing I know is nothing. And that everyone else doesn't know anything either. That's the problem. See, one of the things I was hoping that someone would actually have the answers. And they don't. But they do. What we do have is plenty of answers to all the problems of this world. How this place is evil as all get out. If there is evil, it is this place. And we're in it. And then by default, regardless of whether you believe in Jesus or not, whether you live a Christ-like life, which I wouldn't, I would just try to be the best person possibly can and be honest with people. Stop, posturing and performing for everybody and playing make-believe and just, you know what? It's really difficult to get to this point because it's not appealing. You're not going to win friends talking this way. People are going to want to be around you because you're too damn blunt and you're too damn honest. And you're going to throw up your hands and go, okay, before we get to go into this conversation, I want you to understand I don't know shit. And I also know you don't know shit. So where do we go with that? And it usually ends up nowhere. We just barf out shit. And it doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, because we're all indoctrinated and conditioned to say things that we think are the right things to say in order for the group or the person that we're with to find acceptance, right? The problem is, I'm unacceptable, and I know that. And he goes, well, there's something wrong with you. Why don't you fix the problem with you? Hey, man, you're the issue, dude. And I'm like, I know I am, and I can't fucking fix it. And if I can't fucking fix anything in the physical, how do I have any hope of fixing anything in the spiritual or on the other side? You know what I mean? Where's my hope in all this? So I keep listening to people, and I keep listening to people, and I keep listening to people. And they're not bad people. I mean, they're good people. Everyone's struggling to figure out this shit. And the more and more you study this stuff, go down these the truther journey, if you will, the profound thing that you'll learn is that this place is fucked up and evil, so I'll get more evil than you ever imagined. Which, by the way, you probably already figured out and already knew that instinctively as a kid. So then what do? Well, you got to do something with your life. You got to get a job. You got to, pay the bills. Mommy and daddy are going to be kicking you out in 16 years, right? Which you're really fortunate, I guess, in some ways that it's not sooner. Or maybe it wasn't, you're not fortunate. I don't know. I mean, the fact of the matter, people's lives are very difficult, right? I mean, heartache, pains, breakups. People tell you they love you and fucking throw you under the bus. You end up doing it yourself once in a while. You know what I mean? All the pain and suffering, disappointment, it goes on and on. You say, man, you're talking too much about the negativity. Because that's what this world is. I mean, at the same token, you have to, get up in the morning, shit, shower, and shave, and get your shoes on or slippers, or if you're like me, walk around mostly all the time with no shoes on, because the MS, it makes it so difficult to be in shoes. So anyways, so you need to walk around and do things, get something, move forward, right? Live your life the best you can, right? Try not to be a problem, a burden to other people, right? So what do we end up doing? We live in our cocoons. Right now we got this contraption called the internet, so we're living vicariously. We're all living like voyeurs, watching other people do their thing. Some of us decide to reach out, maybe perform. I don't know what it is. I really do. All these personalities and all these people, and I listen to these things, and I'm not thinking any of them are bad. I think, for the most part, most of them are not bad. Have ill intent. I just think we're just stupid as fuck. I don't think we're as smart as we like to think we are. I honestly think that old timer who was a tool and die guy in the auto shop, plant, is probably smarter than most of us on the internet. And the reason why that is, he just got on with life and realized they don't got no fucking answers. And then we all want the meaning in our lives, right? We all want something greater than. Then we're going to talk about Jeffrey Epstein and all this stuff. I mean, am I prepared to go through this again? Yeah, everybody knows about this Jeffrey so Jeffrey Epstein, we all know about, and everybody we know that's in power in the West knew this guy, right? Everybody knew him. And they're a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and control freaks, and that's when we talk about this place, and we call the world, Earth, this all it is just evil people running this place. I don't think that's. Well, I don't even know. At times they're sure they do good. That's part of the whole gig, right? They believe they're counteracting the evil they're doing, right? But you know what the thing is, they don't even believe that they're doing evil. That's the weird thing. It's because they're so indoctrinated with Catholicism and the Jesuits and J. Crew and the rabbis and all the other men in black, right? And they've been brainwashed by the brainwashed by the brainwashed by the brainwashed by the brainwashed. What's the point in all this? Hey, it's a good time to take a shower and go do something. I don't know about you guys, but I feel extremely trapped. Intellectually, mentally, quote unquote, spiritually, whatever the fuck that means now. Let's say physically, and every other way. I feel like a trapped bipedal rat in a cage. And I mean, I've tried prayer, meditation, this, that, and the other. And I listen to everybody else, and I'm just like, I think you guys are just, you've lost your minds, and you're just trying to make some kind of sense of the fact of, why? How am I here? How do I get out of here? It's just anything out there that means anything. And in a day, it all comes down to the very basic level of, be useful to someone and have some kids and I guess be a parent. And by the way, that doesn't mean joy. It just means you have some value and use to somebody else. If you can't get that, then I guess you do what Craig Corbell, the guy that attacked me. I finally blocked him. I was so sick of him. He's really psychopathic. Just shows up and starts going nuts. And he's a Christian, of course. At least he claims he is. And how God is doing miracle things by some lady showed up with the money that $1,200, right, that he needed for something that he was robbing her for to save her little doggy. $1,200 fucking dollars. Now I know dogs are, people that's their, their pets and all that, right? But people are willing to spend that kind of money on a freaking dog when they could have got that same, like they could have got like 200 of them for that price, right? Just get in, let the dog, and then say, oh, I love them so much, and then you got to let them suffer for another 5-10 years. Oh, you healed them, but they're so, you cured them from the cancer or whatever the hell it is, but it's still, I mean, it's never going to be the same again. It's got issues, Some dogs they rebound, and I understand people, if you got the money and it's a thing that you love, take care of the dog. But people seem to be more interested in a dog than the children. Now, human children, it's all about freaking exploitation. How can we make money off them and their suffering and pain? I mean, it's worse than dogs. In fact, I think that people are more humane towards dogs than to each other. The cats. It says something about us, doesn't it? Something serious wrong with us. And I think that my only thing that makes any sense at this point, and I'm going to keep reading this thing. I'm just looking at all the 19s and all when they go through all this stuff. I mean, this is a good introductory book. If you don't know about this stuff, I already know about this stuff. And I already know that I'm not going anywhere with this. So, what the hell? I lost my train of thought. I don't know what to think. I'm not prepared to just to perform or say the right thing to make people happy. I'm not going to say the right things to get the you know what I mean? That's not going to do it anymore. So if it means nobody wants to be with me, then there's no difference. There literally is no difference than yesterday, or a year ago, or 10 years ago. There's no difference. I'm still stuck in the same place. I'm still stuck. I'm still, I'm a single father. Thank goodness for that. Right. I still got the bird that's behind me chirping away every day. I'm still in the same situation. There is no moving forward in any of this. And I think that's what the problem is. We all realize we're living in a perpetual dead end. Just like the Pink Floyd was talking about the wall. I mean, we all hit that fucking wall, and then we become a brick of that wall. And then we just and keep from each other, they're really blossoming. But the thing is, from my observation, from living like a hermit, is that even being isolated, although I know a lot more things, it's still the same things. It's just, I mean, I'm no different than the crazy monk somewhere, some monastery, doing the same thing every freaking day, year after year, believing he's serving God. when in reality he's doing none of that. But in his mind he is doing that. He's totally convinced he is, right? Even though he's doing nothing but, rituals and performing for really other people, not for God. I just don't get, none of it makes any sense. I mean, none of it makes. Why are people so eager to be part of this fucking matrix? I don't get it. I don't get why people are so eager to play these games and stage these events and be willing and so eager to control over people, manipulate. What is in you? Why don't I have that in me? Why do I have zero desire to control anybody? Physically, mentally, spiritually. Why do I not have that? But all the people around me, they do. How do I, is it because of the Rh negative disease growing up with that? Was the medicine that they gave me as an infant that damaged me? I think so. Some of it's that. Is it the MS? Is it, the abuse? The problem is with my dad, my mom, I seem to be, everyone said I was closer to them, but I think I was more aware of the situation. Whereas everyone else just ran away from it, if that makes any sense. They, the first chance they got. And got the hell out of Dodge, right? Like, but I can't blame them. I used to blame them all the time, right? The parents. In fact, you're conditioned to do that, to blame your parents, your environment. And then you realize your parents are freaking victims of the same fucking shitty system. Even those who maybe they abused us physically, did terrible things, and I'm not try to take any of that away from it, because I know it's awful. But the problem is, when you really think about it, how did they get so fucked up? You can ask, you say, oh, they're just evil people, or whatever. You could even say, well, they're a product of their own environment and all that. And I'm just like, yeah, what's the problem with the environment? What have we created? Or what created this for us? Why is this like a universal thing? It doesn't matter what culture you're at. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter if you're some indigenous tribe somewhere in, Borneo or whatever the fuck it is. And you know what I mean? And, or, you live in the middle of some big city in Europe or out in the country in the States, or it doesn't matter where it is. It's still the same thing. It's just absolute psychological, emotional fuckery. And people, in order to get a kick and maybe feel like they're alive, they exploit other people. Is that what it is? Or are they can't help being what they are? I just think, I don't see an answer. So go inward. So I go inward. Right? And then all the pain and everything that's in my body surges. I feel all the pain and suffering is what I feel. I don't feel my spirit or my, and you know what? Maybe if I was 20 years younger, I could believe that. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, if you're 30, you don't know how to fuck what this world's about. Now, this guy's smarter than most. He could spend a lot of time in the internet world, but there's a lot of things that he still has to go through. And what he's going to figure out, just like me, when he gets in his 50s, is none of this actually fucking matters. None of it matters. Although he's just saying that in a way, and he's hitting on this, all this is a giant distraction. And it is just a giant distraction. I think the only answer to all this stuff is to accept that something somewhere down the line is going to lay the hammer on you, a brute force, right? But in the meantime, what else can you do but focus on the present now, who you can be for, who you can be with, who can you serve, can you, don't forget big children, don't forget, and just try to make this day a better place for you and someone else. Honestly, there's no other answer to any of this. Now, people are going to say, well, you're an NPC. Well, fuck you. Maybe you're an NPC. Now we're back at name calling and dismissing the other personness of the other person just because they're not gone down this truther path. aren't any more instinctively aware of their dilemma. That's not true either. So I just think some of us are just wired wrong. I think I'm one of those people just wired wrong. You know what I mean? I just cannot embrace this place. I can't, the dualistic, if it is dualistic, the darkness is a better way. I just can't embrace it. I can't embrace the judgmentalness. I live in a fucking place where no one waves to each other. Literally, I watch them, and I used to do it. I used to wave to people when they walked by on the porch, but it got to be such a fucking exercise of fucking insult and abuse, not abuse, rejection. It's just like, I know you guys see me. Why won't you wave back? And I just like, am I really something that wrong about me? Am I really that strange looking? Am I really not wearing the right clothes? Am I really not, pleasant enough looking to even look at? And I'm just like, there's something wrong here. And it's not just me. I took for years and years and years, I took responsibility for it. It was all about me. But I now, after all these years, realize, after all the tries and attempts that I've made in life, that it has not just been about me. The meat suit, certainly, that could be the case. In fact, it is the case, because of the health issues that were, conveniently handed over to me instead of letting me launch and have a real life and have some kind of success. It's not my fault that we didn't grow up a Roman Catholic and go to a Jesuit school and get, the nod from some Catholic priest that you're going to be the next this, that, or the other. It's not my fault in any of this stuff. And I also realize it's not the other person's fault either. We can't help what we've been thrown into. I just find this place. And what am I supposed to do? Get high every day for the rest of, take the medical marijuana every day and just get high every day and just, that's it, and just try to escape until, it seems like that's all it is. How can I get through this day and escape the reality and hope that when it's time for me to go, it's not it's even worse than it is now. In other words, please don't let me end up in a fucking nursing home. Sorry, I really don't know what to do. So you just stink too much and you need to go up. You don't have a clue what I need to do, any more than I have a clue what you need to do. I do have some clues. Some of you younger guys and gals, I know through sobriety and all that help you with it, and to work on yourself, because that's really what it is at this point. You need to really embrace, accept what's really going on, and care enough about yourself to survive the next day, right? That's what it comes down to. I don't think we have any control about it in the future. And I think that's what scares the living shit out of us, and we all know that. And people say, oh, you're afraid of death. It's all about death. It's not really about death. It's about so much as not knowing what the purpose of why I'm here in the first place is. And is this it for real? Is this the best it's fucking gonna be? You know what I mean? It's not about death so much, because actually death, when you really think about it, once you come to terms with what life really is about, death is like a gift. You know what I mean? We don't want to have it happen too soon, but my God, do we really want to keep living? Do we want to live to be 200 and, cyborg, and, a transhuman thing to pretend? Will it ever, do we even have our own true conscience? There's so many questions. And, there's always going to be somebody who's a little more clever than I am, or a lot more clever than I am, and put the word salad together properly to convince people that they have all the answers. But they don't. All right, I took a little break, played my guitar, cooked for my son. Let's see what's going on. Yes, I have a son. Oh my gosh, those that hear this stuff and yo, you're such a terrible person. You had a child. Yeah. Well, I did. So, what am I supposed to do? Anyways, back to this whole thing. So, oh yeah, this image right here, Christopher Siders was talking about earlier. I've been listening to his channel. I don't know how many videos I've watched. I guess. And I reached out to him, and probably won't reach out back. So, anyways, sorry to be so negative, but pretty much most things are. So, anyways, it says here they also introduced time loop theory and the 2021 show Loki, Loki, which means that the whole famous Marvel universe is also dealing with a time loop now. Just look how many movies are there with the concept of repeating time loops. Groundhog Day, 1993. Boss Level, 2020. Map of the Tiny Perfect Things, 2021. Happy Death Day, 2017. Happy Death Day to You, 2019. When We First Met, 2018. Game Over, 2019. About Time, 2013. Predestination, 2014. Awake, 2021. Run, Lola, Run, 1998. Before I Fall, 2017. Blood Punch, 2013. ARQ, 2016. The Endless, 2017. And then it says 12 o'clock and 1 minute. 2019. Haunter, 2013. Mind Games, 2012. You know what? I don't watch movies. I haven't watched movies in so long, and I watched a couple movies where, I don't know, the fall or spring. No, the fall or winter. Actually, I couldn't stand it. I can't stand watching movies. I feel like I'm wasting my time. I'm not learning anything, really. Just being screwed with. Let's see. Time Crimes, 2007. Stork Day, 2004. Turn Back the Clock, 2033. 1000 Tundi Johnson? No, 1000 Congratulations, 2009. That's what it is. Naked, 2017. 2 hours and 22 minutes, 2017. I'm not sure what that is all about. I guess that's maybe where it starts talking about this stuff in Naked, or that he wants you to focus on. See You Yesterday, 2019. The Obituary of Dundee Johnson, 2019. Palm Springs, 2020. Map of the Tiny Perfect Things, 2021. Looks like we did that twice. Deja Vu, that's for sure. And it says Deja Vu after that. 2006. 12 Dates of Christmas, 2011. Girl Who I guess is Leaped Through Time. It's misspelled there. 2006. The Last Day of Summer, 2017. Loop, 2016. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, 2099. Mother, 2017. Pete's Christmas, 2013. Premature, 2014. Project Almanac, 2015. Christmas Door, 2006. Christmas Every Day, 1996. A Repeat Performance, 1947. Oh God, I don't know how to pronounce this. Yarusi Yetsura 2. Beautiful Dreamer, 1984. Pula Magi Maduka Magica, the movie, Part 1, Beginnings, 2012. Pula Maduka Magica, the movie part 2, Eternal, 2012. Blue moons. 2 full moons in a row one day after another also happen every 19 years. I didn't know that, but that's something I learned, if it's true. In 2020, the blue moon exactly occurred on Halloween Day, and October 31, 2020, which is interesting. I am sure some of you also find it interesting that the 18th tarot card represents the moon and the 19th card represents the sun. We are on a solar calendar system, the Gregorian calendar, where the sun dictates time. It's interesting to know that even the moon resets every 19 years. And the moon has been in the same spot in the sky 19 years before this. This is why the Hebrew calendar, the oldest ongoing calendar in the world, I don't know about that. Ongoing, is it? Is it okay? Whatever. Every 19 moons. There is something else resetting at the range of time. The reduction, Pythagorean cipher, gematria, chaos equals 19. And 19 years ago is 2001. Who had 2 airplanes turning 3 buildings into dust blamed on 19 hijackers, which was the year they declared war on terrorism, 19 years before that. And in 1982, they declared war on drugs. And here comes the war on germs, and reportedly germs in 2022 via C1 9, Floyd equals 19. It is interesting to note that in 1968, the Quran code was covered through simple calculations, such as how the 114 chapters of the text or 114 surahs are divisible by 19. The same year, Muhammad Alta was born, who was said to be the ringleader of the 19 hijackers on 9/11. The oldest of the group, having turned 33 on September 1st, 2001. A mainland China and the world was confirmed in Seattle, one of the few large cities in the world, equating to 19 and a reduction Pythagorean cipher of gematria. C19 was famously claimed to mean certificate of verification, or the other word, the certificate of the back ID, 19 before as well. I think that all these time loops connections are hinting that the fact that we ourselves are in some kind of repeating time loop, and reincarnation is the best explanation for it. This could be the case. I don't know if it is the best explanation yet. It seems to be, but been wrong before. Well, that's for sure. 666 connections that indicate how we live in a hellish realm. We don't even need these. All you have to do is pay attention to your life and the people around you. After learning about the soul trap, seeing all the 666 connections and warnings everywhere started to make sense to me, since, as it turns out, we basically live in a amnesia and suffering boosted purgatory type of hell already. And suffering boosted purgatory type of hell already. After all, what else are we to call this horrendous place where we keep getting mind wiped into it with illogical excuses? I'll I'll now share with you some of the interesting 666 connections that I found out, which I believe hints that what kind of a place we truly live in. The same entities that did the Event 201 simulation did another similar pandemic simulation named Clade X. That's true, which was in May 15, 2016. And the Corona pandemic, I can't say these words, I gotta screw them all up because I'm sensory. Was declared, you guys can figure out what I'm saying, was declared on March 11, 2022, which, by the way, today is the third anniversary of my mom passing away on the 13th of March 2021. And it was from the pokety poke. And which she ended up having a blood clot in her brain and stroke and died a few days later, a couple weeks later. And still on her tombstone, the date of her death has not been put on there, literally. And my sister, I don't know what her problem is. She's just she's one of those hateful Christians. She's a hateful Roman Catholic who, delusional in all respects, just hate. But the thing is, everyone loves her because she's a Chester Cat. That Chester Cat smile, and she loves her. Oh, how you doing? The problem is, it doesn't work for me because I know her, right? So she doesn't want anything to do with me because I know her. She knows me. You know what I mean? It's funny how siblings, you can't fool your siblings. And that's the problem. That's why most of the time they end up running away from you, because they know that they know you, that they know that you know them, the real them, and they can't afford to. The illusion, the facade, the fictional life to be destroyed, and they won't be challenged by it, right? But I just wonder why she's all this time. They got all this money. They just spent all $350,000 refurbishing, basically some stupid house 2 blocks away on the same street that I live on, and they couldn't bother to. They have the money to put. They're the ones that have the money to put the mom's death date on it, but no, it's not going to happen. 3 years later. I'm about ready to say something about it, but then I know she's gonna throw it back at me, and then she's gonna be in total denial that her brother, me, has MS and does not have expendable income for just about anything. And I have a son. I'm a single father with MS, who barely gets through the month every month, right? So. And then I hear people say, well, you're complaining. Well, fuck you if I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. Why shouldn't I complain? Why shouldn't you complain? In fact, all of us should start complaining, because this place is a hell. At the end of the day, I don't find the tombstone important. I don't find, the burial thing and all that. I never did agree with it, even as a kid. Never thought it was that important. But it's our mom. You know what I mean? I mean, they do have the money. And it's already paid for, I thought. But somehow, it's never getting that done. So, I think I'm going to call that cemetery. Yeah. So anyways, we'll get into this thing, right? So I'm done with this reading. I'm going to call that cemetery and find out what the hell's going on. Why can't my mom at least get that?